You know, that's one thing to think about. Now, if you're vain, you know, it was kind of funny when I was doing, my mom was sometimes telling people, oh, well, my daughter's painting my car. And there were a lot of guys that say, wow, she's brave. I would never try something like that. And it's kind of funny because there's plenty of people that are willing to work on the inside of their car. Now, you see, I'm more reluctant to work on the inside of the car because the thing is, if you screw up your inside of your car, you could make it stop running. You could make something not work when you're, you know, and that might give out suddenly when you're going on the highway 50 miles an hour. You know, you suddenly can't stop your car. You run into something and get decapitated. You know, it's amazing that people, I'm always surprised that people are so brave about wanting to work on the inside of their car. I'm much more reluctant to do that. Though I have to admit, this whole experience has made me fascinated with cars, and I have thought about maybe learning a few things about them. You know, the thing is, you mess up on the inside of the car, you can make your car stop running or cause it to explode or catch on fire or you know, not work, you know, do something that might cause you to have a car accident. So I'm always surprised. I always think it takes a lot more bravery to work on the inside of your car. But there's a lot of people that actually would rather risk working on the inside of their car when they don't know what they're doing than actually paint their car and have it possibly turn out ugly. Now, if you're one of these people, my advice to you, save up and get a pro to do it, okay? You know, if you do this a lot, if you paint cars a lot, probably you are going to be good at it. But particularly if you don't, you know, the pros have air guns, I think, or air paint guns, and that just does a much better job than a spray can or a paint roller is going to do. I mean, that is just something you just have to... You are never really going to make your car look like it did when it came out of the showroom if you do it this way, if you do it the cheap way, okay? And you don't know what your skill level is. I mean, with me, I was doing a pretty good job, but there's some parts I really screwed up on, and, you know, unfortunately, they're not very attractive. But with me, my whole purpose in this was to make Selena protected. And though I was disappointed and felt really horrible when I screwed up like here, and you know, basically I'm still pleased because, you know, I'm showing you the worst parts now. And the glory of unforgiving sunlight. Now the sun's not on this side, but, you know, my point was to get her protected. But if you're vain and you can't live with the possibility that you're going to make mistakes that might make your car look ugly or at least just give it some unsightly features, save up and get a pro to do it, or buy a new car. But don't try something like this unless you've got good self-esteem or, you know, you can live with your mistakes, you know. Also, if you go up to this much trouble, accept you have to take into account other things. Like with me, I started thinking, okay, I had to ask myself, I thought Selena was going to last forever. I mean, that's why I went to all this trouble. Now, Selena is developing some little health problems, and it seems to me that when I started painting her, she seemed to start developing more of them. I don't know, there was like, oh, you're paying attention to me? Well, I've got this little cough, and my little wheel over here is not working well. And so, but, you know, she is, what, 12, 13 years old now? So, you know, of course she's going to develop problems. But I had to ask myself when I did this, I was like, okay, what happens if I've done all this work and then suddenly she breaks down for good? How am I going to feel? How am I going to feel if I do all this work and then my mom gets into a bad car accident and totals her? You know, am I going to want to throw myself in front of a train after that? Well, my answer was no, because, you know, I mean, it would be tragic, you know, but, particularly since I love Selena, you know, but, you know, this was a rewarding experience in itself, you know. Now, of course, I do hope Selena will last us a long time, but, you know, if something happens, I can live with that. But if your answer is you would throw yourself in front of a train if you get into a car accident or the car breaks down, don't do this either, you know. So anyway, this is a 31-minute video. I think it's gone on long enough, and I think I've pretty much covered everything that I remember. And if there's anything I've forgotten, it's probably been mentioned in other videos. So, stay tuned. I am going to do one last thing with Selena. I'm going to do I'm hoping to do before and after videos. I think I have enough footage to get pictures off. I didn't think to do that before, but I think because I've been documenting this, I will be able to do before and after pictures. And then we can all see, you know, how we all feel. You know, you'll be able to better see, and I'm satisfied. Of course, you know, all of you might think, oh, that was a total waste of time, but we'll see, you know. We'll take a look at Selena before her makeover and what she looks like after makeover, and we'll decide whether, even with all the mistakes, it was well worth it. So, stay tuned.